welcome. We're here to talk about how do you learn how to find your dreams and your way without collapsing, without getting disembodied. Annie Brooke in Boulder, Colorado, and we're using the chat room. So be sure to sign up on the chat, open your chat so that you can add your comments. First off, welcome Amy, hello. Do you find yourself doing any of these things? Do you self-attack or have a little bit of hopelessness? We're at the new year and it's a time when people are envisioning their year, but many people just give up or they go into despair. Or are you somebody who signs up, you get all excited and you end up working too hard? That will not work for your nervous system. Or you just don't even bother. Or you blame others and you're mad at them for their success. So give me a 1 in the chat if you self-attack. I want to see how many people go, oh yeah, that's me. I do the self-attack thing. Give me a 2 if you do the despair. Like you can't quite get off the ground. Yeah, got it, Adele, doing that despair thing. It's so heavy to carry around. Give me a 3 if you over effort. If your default is to get all excited and then work way too hard, and then it doesn't really work. Okay, we've got some of 3s coming in. I'm going to address all of these on this webinar, so I'm so glad you're here. How about the giver-uppers? Yeah, work too hard and you give up, or you give up before you even get started. Give me a 4 if you're a giver-upper, if that is where you default to. And then give me a 5. Welcome, Janet. Give me a 5 if you start blaming others or you get resentful of other people's success. So rather than having your own success, you start to feel resentful of other people's success. We don't want that. We don't want you to have to struggle with that. And I want to help you because I have done all of these, believe it or not. Oh, yes, you've been all of them too, Leanne. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I know what that's right. So let's look at this. Welcome, Michael. Hi, Michael. Find your way to your dreams without doing these things, without the self-attack, the despair, the over-effort, the giving up, or the blaming others. And you can even write in the chat how you do it. Let's look at this because New Year's is sometimes a time where people feel pressured to do it differently, but they don't really have the skills. Don't want your goals or planning throw you into a forever trauma or into self-attack thinking. Some people are terrified to plan. And what I want to say is that self-sabotage literally saps your life force. It literally exhausts the immune system, especially if you're in the despair side. It will also exhaust if you're in the over-effort side as well. Welcome, Trudy. We're all getting started here, and we're looking at how do we sabotage ourselves. So you sabotage by self-attacking. You sabotage, put a 1 in the chat if you self-attack. You sabotage by despair. Put a 2 in the chat if you do despair. Good, I'm getting to see everybody's answers here. That's really helpful. The 3 in the chat, if you over effort, you get all excited and then boom, you just try and try and try. And then put a 4 in the chat if you give up, and a 5 if you blame others. I should have a 6 in there too about resenting others' success. And don't let your goals and your planning. So here we are wanting to do it different. And I know you have probably tried a lot of different things. We're not dumb, we try. Even if you've tried things and they haven't been so deep in the body or looking at the early imprints, they often won't work. I think I can help you even if you've already given up. I want to help you interrupt the confusion of the brain, and it will really have it be all encompassing. So I'm going to teach you on this webinar some simple tools that anyone can learn to shift your own brain. Oh, isn't it true? What if you could write that book or plan that event or start that business or even take a vacation. That could be a goal. And sometimes people just never get around to the self-care. I have been teaching this work for years now, and I've been really able to help people quickly and simply get practical tools. That's what I want for you. The key of it is, how do you shape your support? And that's something you can even do. I want to teach you how to do that. Maybe you're halfway there. You've written half of your manuscript and then you put it away. I did that. And finally, I got my books starting to get published. You start your dream, but then somehow you don't even know how it happens, but it doesn't actualize. You're not doing that dream. Or you might have the creative excitement. And I really want to find out, if you're a creative excitement person, do you get fragmented? These are so common. And you're not alone. It really is possible to learn how to shape your support. And it is too sad when you let go of your dreams. Put in the chat some of the dreams you've let go of or that you still have. Let's see what some of those dreams are, because it is painful when you feel like your life is slipping by and you're not really engaging with it anymore. And it's even a bit humiliating when you start resenting other people's successes. I don't want that for you. And for me, I had to learn to shape my support so that I could really get my dreams in place. It's what I want for you. And I'm going to share with you on this webinar how I did it. Now, in this, your dream could be something like just having a better family life. It doesn't have to be a big external goal. It could be something that would really make a difference for you in your day-to-day interaction. That is a worthy vision for this year. And what you want to know, some people get stuck in the failures. And I want you to know that your failures are not special. You're just trapped in double binds, and the double binds are in the brain, or you're trapped in the self-attack, or you don't even know how to reach out. These are all some of the traps. Come on, give me a few of those dreams that you think maybe if you just could, you might want to do this year. Put them in the chat. And again, part of it is the mental body, to not spiral into destructive patterns that actually take you down or beat up your relationships. Oh, yay, to publish and be more creative. Create your own long online course. Well, I can help you. I know how that works, and I know how publishing works. Self-publishing, that was my very first book. What you have to do is know how to interrupt the self-sabotage. For me, I had to learn how to overcome defeat. Sometimes I'd get started. I even built my own home. And then my partner was not attentive. I was away and the house burned down. Whoa, that could keep me forever dreaming again. And then in my 20s, I thought, oh, I want to be a dancer. And then I started moving with dancers. My body wouldn't do what it needed to do. When my body wouldn't do what it needed to do, that's when I found body mind centering. And I said, okay, I guess I better help my body. I had no idea. Sometimes we don't know what the obstacle is. Then I got married and a wonderful person and relationship. And in that process, my husband died 3 months later. So that is something. When you have to go through those obstacles, it can be easy to give up on yourself. And I don't want that for you. I had to learn a big lesson, and it wasn't just the lessons of life. I had to learn to shape my support, and I had to learn to stop self-sabotage from sapping my life force. So right now, I want you to dream big, to follow your dreams without collapsing. And let's see in the chat. I've seen a few dreams so far. Self-publish and be more creative, create your online course. What are those dreams? What do you want to do? Not just, a work dream, but maybe it's a personal life dream or a creative life. For me, I was able to, choreograph and produce a dance piece. I did my one-woman shows for years, and that took a whole start to finish and a lot of personal tenacity. There were things that I did in the body way that actually nourished me beyond the linear step by step. And that again and again is what I want to help you do. I want you to be able to feel successful, feel creative, enjoy your home, and enjoy your life. But right now, maybe you're thinking, well, my dreams are far away. But we want to bring our dreams a little closer. Maybe it's a blend of wishful thinking, of fear of disappointment, plenty of reasons why they can't happen. Yay, you want to have another dance company and grow your dance shaman business. Why not? And have practice working in retreats. You bet. If you're not ready to give up, you could reach the successes I have reached and enjoy them once you learn how to shape your support. So using these tools, I was able to, I have consulted $1 million family-owned business to get clear on their communications and dreams. Using the tools I want to share with you, I could help a mother get behind her parenting skills. So really, her family life became so much more rewarding. And I also helped a woman who hated movement actually find herself through movement. And then she went on to create a movement educational company. That was just a riot, that she hated movement when she came to see me. And then a year and a half later, here she was making her own movement business, and she's still doing it. And then I worked with a man. I was able to help share these tools, a guy who was afraid of failure, and he was so rigid, and he was able finally to unlock the rigidity and become enjoyable. That's what allowed him to find a partnership, a relationship. And then I helped someone who had obsessive thinking. You want to shift that into proactive behaviors. Tools are what I'm trying to say. These are tools that anyone can learn. They are deep in the nervous system, and it allows you to take those risks or to enjoy life more. Now, you might be really weary of self-help programs, and I was too. I can tell you, I would look online and almost sign up and never sign up, and I was so sick of the whole thing. And finally, I figured out through just a blend of things how to do that. Or maybe you're afraid of failing. Trying and failing is a real despairing outcome. You don't want to face that. And maybe you've tried a lot, and it just, no matter what, you get stuck. Or you think you're not like me. Life is harder for you somehow. Well, I don't know about that. But maybe you're afraid you'll start and then stop, or you might just be choosing the wrong dream. How do we get through that? Well, I'll tell you, my results are not typical. Most therapists don't know how to access infant memory or early childhood experience. And so your results will vary from mine, or their methods will vary. And again, it's the finding the subconscious programming deep in the brain that is my specialty. And I want to help you with that. Who am I? I'm an educator. I'm an author. I founded the Brook Institute. I love teaching infant development and sharing skills with mamas and families, because I think we all deserve to thrive. And it goes right back to the background of our bodies, our minds, our ability to dream big. In this, if you are really have a dream and you're afraid of disappointment, yes, we can work with that. If you've failed in the past, but you're not a failure and you're not willing to let your dreams die, put a 5 in the chat if you have failed in the past and you're not a failure. Yeah, right? You're not. Good. Yeah, I don't want you to feel like a failure. Put a 3 if you're afraid of disappointment. You have the dreams, but you're really getting afraid of disappointment. Oh, yep, I see some 3s coming in, some more 5s. And what about you don't know what to do with all the fear? Or you actually get paralyzed by fear. Put a 2 in the chat if you get paralyzed by fear. Okay, there's all this happening, right? All this stuff that just we don't know. It's the underbelly that stops us. Maybe you come out from you come out of the gate feeling confident, but then you lose your through line. You lose your follow through when you get stuck. Give me a 1 if you come out confident, but then you kind of give up when you get stuck. I really want to help you with that. The people, oh, yes, Mary. Okay, honey. I want to help you with that. I don't want to work with people who feel hopeless and want to settle for a ho-hum life. That will not be much fun for me. Or people who are really loyal to being a victim in their distress. Sometimes we don't know it, but we actually have an unconscious loyalty. And if you want to choose that loyalty over your making shifts and changes with me, please don't come to my program. People who are not willing to get to the underbelly of their patterns, that they just want to stay mental. If you just want to mentally solve your issues, I'm not the right person for you. Or people who want to have their fear of success, they're literally afraid The success feels too scary. Well, I will have, don't come to me if you're going to cling to that fear. We're going to look at how do you give that dream a chance to live? How do you take hold and shape your next steps? I want you to see that it's a simple rinse and repeat once you get the skills. And the big skill is really transforming the fear factor. It can be your fear of success. It can be your fear of failure. It can even be a fear of going inside and knowing what's going on in there, a fear of yourself. So still ready? Ready to shape your support? Yes. Okay. I want to share these with you. So I'm going to teach you 3 simple tools today that anyone can learn to shift your brain from the inside out. The first one is giving that dream a chance to live. So everybody rub your hands together. We are going to take our dream and put it into the breathing ball. So rub your hands together and actually pull on your hand a little. And as you slide your hands, give a little slide and grip, allow yourself to turn. I want you to get a little spinal rotation. If you don't have movement and you get frozen when you're going after your dreams, you're going to struggle. So the first step is giving the dream a chance to live. Now take your hand, inhale and exhale, and feel the movement. So now we're going to drop in. Everybody drop into your dream. I want you to see it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but see one part of it. Maybe you just see yourself excited. Maybe you visualize the final online course you're teaching. I want you to breathe and feel. And now put your dream into your hands. Literally put your dream into your hands. And notice if you stop breathing, that would not be so helpful. Yeah, put your dreams into your hands and allow that flexibility so that your dream starts to carry you. You're the container, but your dream is the creative force. And you want to be in relationship with it, in relationship with that creative force. So have your dream in your hands, but instead of controlling it, let your dream have life and be in relationship with that breath of life. This is the only way that we really can be able to reach our dreams, is they have to be living. They have to be living dreams. And what if your dream could live and not be squashed by you? Wouldn't that be lovely? You would be nourished by this creative expression, and you would feed your own confidence because it's a living, moving, breathing dream. That's the first step to interrupt self-sabotage and not spiral into hopelessness. As you do that, you might even have epiphanies about how life works. When we learn how to dream and to keep our dreams alive and to be in relationship, you will get results. And that's because we work with the body mind, not just goals and not just ambition. And that's really, really important. We want to learn to release the interference directly in our nervous system from infant experiences. And those are deep in the primitive brain and deeply subconscious. And if you've tried in the past to direct your dreams, to force them, or to cheerlead your way to success, that will not work. You have to believe that your dreams are worthy. And I want to teach you how to shape your support, because the one thing is, if you don't know how to shape the support, you will get exhausted. Or if your inner saboteur, that no resistance internally, thinks it's still protecting you, it is not going to let you win at your dream. It is going to take over. We're looking at transformation here, not just ideas, but the transformation that comes when you add these simple tools. So let's do it one more time. Put your dream inside your hands and have the breathing ball so that your hands are holding your dream. Take a moment and really drop in, feel it, see it, smell it, enjoy it, and then let it breathe your hands. You're in relationship with this dream. It's not something you pin on the wall or something you pick up and put down, but it's with you. And that's part of it, is getting that feeling of this is a life skill that you keep forever. So we can get down to the transformation. And this work is really profound. I can just tell you that I have helped hundreds of people at this point, lots of children, lots of parents, even business executives, people struggling with their personal life. And they were highly successful, but they were still in this struggle. And I want to really, really share with you the skills. so that when you dream, you don't dissociate. When you dream, you don't go into the fear and you stop feeling safe, because you will not be able to continue and move through the obstacles. So let's talk just for a brief moment. The existential fear of success is like annihilative terror. Annihilative terror is the most deep impression in the infant brain that goes to fear of life or death. And that's what I'll cover more in the program of really doing this deep dream work with me. We will look at annihilative terror. But for today, I want you to learn how to hold what you need. So the first part, you've got the breathing ball, you've got your dream here. Now, this next one, learning to yield, to interrupt your unconscious beliefs. So if you have a pencil and paper, or put it in the chat, what are your sabotaging beliefs? Let's look at some of those directly. Write them in the chat, because the skill of repatterning beliefs has to do with yielding. The mental body is just phenomenal at taking over and attacking you, or giving you reasons to give up. Yeah, let's see a few of the beliefs coming in. There they are. Oh, yes, of course, the belief you are alone. That I really had to go through because of my time in the incubator, because I was alone and I couldn't get to the support. Another belief, you're not good enough. Yes, all these beliefs we want to totally learn to yield, not collapse under the weight of those beliefs. You don't have time. That's a big one. And I can tell you, managing the complexity of my life, and yet I have time to practice my music. I have time to go tango dancing. So I want to help you learn to yield these beliefs. So right now, everybody take your head in your hands, reach up and over the top of your head. You can then take your hands and pull down on your chair. Overwhelming pushback experience. Boy, I really hear that. You felt that early on, being pushed back from just who you are, maybe. So now pull on your chair and do a little spinal stretch. You're using proprioception to feel yourself. If we can feel ourselves contrary to what others have told us about ourselves, or the pushback we've been given, we're starting to yield into our own body, not collapse. That's why I have you holding the sides of your chair and pushing, or you can even stand up and push on the wall. Give me a 1 if you tend to get flooded under stress. And here's some of these beliefs. You think other people can change, but not you, right? You're still afraid to try something different. And that seems so simple. It has to be, hard to do for it to be effective. Or you get inside the emotions that you hijack success. And a fear of not having the energy, of course. That's a big one. Yep. These are all the things we want to work with, because these are beliefs. And when our brain thinks these things, we will stop in our tracks. I don't want that for you. You will start to feel differently when you learn to shape your success. I can help you identify your dream, hold your hand as you release your inner fears, and give you the skills to shape your support. Shaping your success is the key ingredient to your success. Now, that's ironic, but it's true that when you shape your success, that's your key ingredient. And working with resistance, not collapsing around it, is what makes things happen. And it's easy once you get the skills. I can show you how. I learned them myself and they work. So in this, we look at the simple rinse and repeat. Well, what is the rinse and repeat? It is learning how to redirect self-attack and self-doubt back into productive action. That is the continuity of going through the process over and over again, because it's the baby steps that make goals work. It's the little baby steps that you do the rinse and repeat about, where you redirect self-attack and self-doubt into motoring. This is the sensory motor loop. When you have a belief, usually what happens is a freeze response, and then you're stuck. There's no more action available. And your action could even be a moment of rest. So how is this so simple? There is an inner dial. And I really have to say, I have pretty well mastered my inner dial at this phase of my life. And that's what I will help you with. You have to be able to adjust that dial. Everybody take your hands for a moment. Now imagine you have a dial and think about today. Where did you get off emotionally? How did you get off emotionally? Did you get hyped up? Did you get collapsed? Did you get worried? And I want you to physically take your hands from your liver. I want you to do the organ clock from your liver over to your heart. We're going to just do this together. Liver up to heart. Whoa, right? There's your heart. Now send the energy down to your spleen, heart to spleen. Yeah. Ooh, there's your spleen, the earth element. Now take that energy up into your lungs. Expansiveness, the structure of the metal element. When we lose our structure, we lose our direction. And then down to your kidneys. Yeah. Whew. And from the kidneys back to the liver. This is the Chinese nourishing cycle. And physically, we want to move the energy so it doesn't get stuck and starts to become an emotional hammer. Chinese associate emotions with organs. And if you're stuck in your liver, you're likely going to get frustrated and angry. You're stuck in your heart, you're likely going to get anxious. You're stuck in your kidneys, you're likely going to get scared. If you're stuck in your spleen, you'll likely get worried. If you're stuck in your lungs, you'll get full of grief. So we keep the energy moving. That is how physically and emotionally you can adjust your dial. And I want you to know that it has these three parts. The biggest part is, what are you telling yourself? And do you really know that belief is true? So these are all the things I like to dive into: the physical level, the emotional level, and the mental level, in the rinse and repeat. And then right now, the skill set of redirecting, and it can be a confusing path. It's redirecting fear. So let's all take a moment and take something that's scaring you. You might have something right now or something from the past, and notice, what did you do in response to your fear? What did you do? Did you start to worry? Did you give up? Did you try harder? All of these factors. Fear is an emotion nobody wants to feel when it's leftover trauma, because if it's related to infant or child experience, we couldn't do anything about it. We couldn't change our household. We couldn't get rid of our parents. We couldn't get ourselves out of the incubator or away from the jaundice lights. And the fear then becomes almost like a pearl inside an oyster, where you just circulate energy around it and the pearl gets bigger and bigger, but it doesn't get resolved. So right now, take your breathing ball, begin with your hands, and this time, you freeze literally. Yep. And Adele, you dissociate. I used to do both. I would freeze and dissociate. So in order to get through this, befriending your fear, you have to thaw out. That is really, really key. You can't, many people, myself included, I used to operate on top of a freeze response. And that's what we call compensating behavior. But it's a lot of work and you'll get burned out. So right now, take your breathing ball, which we started on part 1. We put our dream in it, right? So we would be in relationship with our dream. So get your dream again and really feel the living idea of a dream. And it could be, it doesn't have to be a major thing. It could be just a little desire, but put it in there. Add breath. Here you go. Adding your breath. Yeah. Now freeze your dream. Take your hands and make them a little rigid and your dream gets frozen. Notice what you feel in your body. And then let that become what you're afraid of. Notice what you're telling yourself. What are you afraid of? Once you figure that out, oh my gosh, and then add some breath and movement so that you redirect that fear. You transform it back into excitement. And that's what I'm going to help you with. You might think that support is not there for you and you don't know how to use it. Maybe you're afraid to expose your dream for fear of criticism. I went through that sometimes. It's like, oh my gosh, what will people think, right? And sometimes you might have the idea of support. It can confuse your inner survivor. If you have an inner survivor who's survived without support, then put a 3 in the chat if you have that kind of inner survivor. You really know how to go into self-reliance almost to a fault, because that's a special kind of thing we want to work with to reduce that kind of resistance to support. Yeah, boy, I'm seeing a lot of people have those inner survivals. I had that. If you had any kind of infant trauma or early childhood, you likely have it. So we want to help you massage the idea of support. Step-by-step actions that are simple when you get inside your resistance. And I can help you learn the simple skills to interrupt your inner hijacker and repeat those skills. That's the rinse and repeat, so that you're proficient, because I want you to know how to succeed. Or I know maybe you secretly want to, but you're afraid. So remember, here's our tools that we share. Shaping your support by being in relationship with what you need, and then redirecting your emotions. One way is through the organ clock. There are many ways to work with this so that you get along better and can read. And then again, holding your fear, but putting it between your hands so it doesn't get frozen and rigid. Coming back to excitement. And this part of integrating your friends, integrating your fear. Well, maybe fear needs to become your friend. Imagine that. And a good question in the chat: can you interrupt all of this when you're still under threat or perceived threat? Great question. The thing is that when we lose our movement, the threat becomes bigger. So we have to create a hula hoop so that we're not constantly letting the threat in. If it's life threatening, get out of there, right? Or spend less time if you can't leave the situation yet. But oftentimes our perceived threat makes the situation worse, and it makes the other person actually threaten us. So you have to understand that when you freeze, you become dangerous to others. The gut instinct will want to attack you. So sometimes people blame the other, and maybe the other needs some blame because they're doing something that is not tenable to live with. But sometimes if you tend to get frozen, they're going to want to attack you just from their instinct of the gut, because a frozen animal is going to get eaten. I know, I worked in Africa. I saw it all the time. Animals that were too sick got eaten. They were too old and couldn't keep up with the herd, they got eaten. If they froze for too long, they get pounced on and eaten. Fear is life force that got frozen. I want you to thaw it out, and you can even lie on the floor and be a little starfish. Use movement and perception through weight and pressure. Push on the floor with your feet, your hands. That's thawing out the freeze. You can do this. You want your creative dreams to succeed. You want the steps to be simple. You don't want to sell out on your life. And there's many pieces to the puzzle. That's why I like working with people individually or in a group. We work with all these pieces and we put it back together. And I can help you really reduce the confusion. Like the business owner that I helped get support for his family and from his family for a family-owned business. And I can help you shape your support when you interrupt those infant child memories and fears. Like a mother who took charge of her family life, I can help you find your through line and follow it, even when you struggle. The man who took charge of his emotions. You want to eliminate those nagging doubts and fears, like the woman who started her own movement business. So again, remind this for yourself. Here's what we've covered. You breathe with your dream and you take hold of it and you shape your next steps. And then you figure out how it's a simple rinse and repeat once you get it. And of course, this all involves transforming the fear factor. So even if you've given up, I know these steps, I know how to help you. And so this far, have you enjoyed what you've been learning? Do you feel like you've gotten some value? Put a 3 in the chat if you're like, yeah, I actually learned something here. I think I can apply this. That's what I want for you. Some good ideas that you can put to use. Now, as we're coming to the end of our call here, our end of our time, you can take what I've taught you today and keep working with it. That's why I like sharing tools that work. Or if you want some personal help from me to be coached and mentored through the entire process, that's an offering that I'm opening up in mid-January. It's actually a group that is going to give you the direct support. And I want you to book a call with me if you're interested in getting direct support working with me. What I don't want is, I want to ask you, how would you feel if you spent the year in regret or resentment? And could you bear to let it be another year of disappointment because you're afraid? Think about getting the support. So when you book a call with me, it all starts with your strategy session. And I'm going to put that link for you right in the call, right in the chat, so that you can find it, because I want to find out from you how to help you. I want to find out from you what you need. And that's what is going to happen on the call. And let me get that link and I'll put it in the chat box now. And book a call. I'll talk with you for half an hour and we will find out. We're going to look at how do you hijack your, and what can happen, how can you interrupt the energy. And I want to help you further understand personally for you, how do you shape your your support so you can actualize your dream? And then how do you explore the idea of the simple rinse and repeat so you can get skills that last a lifetime? I want to help you decide the next best steps toward your dreams. And I have helped hundreds of people make significant changes in their life. And I'm at a life phase where that's what I love to do. I know the tools, I know how to teach them, and I can help. And these tools really do change the brain. It's a little bit miraculous, but again, it's the simple rinse and repeat. Once you're able to get those tools, go ahead and book a call. There's only a few spots left because I do a lot of other things, but I do want, I'm looking for those qualified people who actually want to go the next step in their life. And if you want more of these skills, I want you to join my mastermind group. It's 4 months and it's a high level guided group. And in that process, my goal is you release those limiting beliefs and you really find the success of that dream. This call is for you if you're ready to confront your disappointment, if you're ready to integrate the life experiences that could be very, very subconscious and yet they still hijack. If you want to learn the rinse and repeat skills that last a lifetime, and if you will enjoy the satisfaction of writing your book, creating that dance, finishing that school program, starting your business, or improving your family life by supporting your dreams so that I can make sure I'm supporting you. When you book your call, you're going to get an application. I want you to fill it out because the application is going to give me the things to listen for when we're talking. And I won't be able to have your call if you don't fill the application. So book your call soon. I only open up a few spots for it. And I already want to congratulate you, whether you book your call or whether you go off on your own here. Take those next steps. Really, you deserve it. And I want success for you. And so click the link, it's in the chat. And I can't wait to speak with you. Thanks so much for being on this webinar. If you have friends you want to dive in with at this level, please share this. I will put up a replay. Thanks so much.